Hello, citation with the new stock name off on the Durag Nation about Black Scrub. Let's get it. Happy Thursday, Durag Nation. How's everyone doing out there? We are live once again. We're gonna be live for the next 2 days because it's a little special. Today we got the Marvel's Wolverine hands-on preview going down shortly. Embargo will be lifting soon. Got the countdown going. So everyone who got flown out to Insomniac studio will get to share their impressions of the game, what they played. There will be some new footage. I have some new screenshots that I cannot share until the embargo lifts. I don't want Sony's lawyers coming after me, so I'll keep those until 11, so I don't get in trouble. But yeah, we're gonna be checking out what everyone thought of the game. We're gonna be reacting to some people I know. I know Caboose was out there. We'll check out what some of the big outlets thought of Wolverine. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch right now, so shout out to wherever you're watching this on. Make sure you smash that like button on YouTube side for that algorithm. Do I have a PS5 Pro? Yes, I do. Travis, what's up, Tram? What's up, No Cap? What's up, King? You, what's up, Steven? Gonna be awesome. Yes, sir. What's up, Wolverine? What's up, Jaden? How you doing? Blessings to you, Craig. What's up? What's up? What's up, YouTube Toby? How you doing? We get new gameplay. There should be new gameplay. I know there's definitely new footage. Was good. Was good. I was not at Insomniac studio for the hands-on preview. I do know what the hands-on preview was. I do know what people played. I know what the demo specifically was. What levels were shown off. I've got some screenshots that are new, which of course I cannot share in any way, shape, or form until that countdown timer hits 0. So don't you think the red eyes on the case would have made the cover look cool? Red eyes? Actually, I don't know about red eyes, but I would have liked to see some red on the PlayStation cover, on the PS5 covers for the silver. I think this is the adamantium edition, the silver and black. Because when I first saw it, I thought they were going for the black, white, and blood look. It's the same thing they use when Wolverine hits Rage Tier 3 in the game. When you unlock Rage Tier 3 in the game. It's inspired by that Wolverine comic run where everything is like black and white with except for the color red for blood. Looks really cool. I thought they were going to implement that for the adamantium style. And then when I didn't see any red, I was like, "Ah," but it still looks cool. But a little red would have been nice. I will say, I will agree. So probably the yellow one looks better, I think, in my opinion. But silver still looks cool. The controller looks cool. I prefer the black and white, the black and silver controller because it's got like hints of blue on there that they're going to go really well. If you get the case, you're going to paint it red. Yeah, that makes sense. You could always have someone customize your case or do it yourself. Wonder if they're going to do skin. They're going to show off the skins. We'll see. I'm pretty sure they're going to show off the what was it? The Team X suit. We're probably going to see that. Is the game long? None of Insomniac's games are long. Insomniac's philosophy is always to have shorter story-driven games. None of their games are long. All their games are roughly the same length for like full releases. Miles Morales was on the shorter side because it wasn't like a full game. It was more like an expansion game. But their typical full games are like 15, 20 hours long. What's up, Lucky? How long till after Wolverine comes out, people act like it's the worst game? They're already doing it. they preemptively started hating on it. What's up, Mikey? Excited too. Embargo lifts when that countdown hits 0. Could there be DLC? There could be. I don't know if there's going to be a story expansion or if they're just going to add new suits. Insomniac's typically good for adding like new suits, new quality of life changes. So one take. I don't know if they're going to add story content for Wolverine. They might just go right from Wolverine to their next game, which should be Venom. If Wolverine is the smash we all think it would be, would that convince other studios to finish up their upcoming superhero games? It will have no impact on superhero games already in development. Any superhero game that's struggling will continue to struggle. The development process is unique to other studios. The only thing that a game's success influences is what type of game people will decide to make. Like the AAA industry in particular is very known for trend chasing to very disastrous results sometimes. See Sony's push for live service because and other places push for live service. Always a sign that Marvel games come out. Yeah, like it's everyone's situations are different. Like Rise of Hydra, we already got an update on Rise of Hydra. Paramount doubled down on the games division, made a bigger investment. They said they promoted Amy Hennig. They said they have full confidence in Rise of Hydra and they're going to let them take their time. The Blade game, that could be canceled because Xbox got rid of a bunch of their studios, including Arcane, who are making the Blade game. So Arcane has to find an investor so that they can finish the game. EA already has a deal in place with Marvel, so they have to finish the Iron Man game regardless. So it just depends on the individual studio. PlayStation should have been yellow, but the manga is fire. Grifters are so annoying, especially now. I appreciate how like more people are now like understanding how ridiculous the grifters are, because they've kind of like blown up mainstream and at the perfect time, because the grifts kind of went a little mainstream right at the time when they've been their most incorrect. Like seeing how hard they pushed this agenda that the Odyssey was going to flop, and then seeing how insanely successful it was, chef's kiss. Like great writing by the writers of the simulation. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Animated edition looks clean. Yeah, for sure. It does still look clean. Art Peter, can't wait. Yes, sir. Things always swing left and right now. Yeah, like it was a pattern. Like people got annoyed with the eventually the SJWs overstayed their welcome, and people just got annoyed and said, "Yeah, I ain't trying to hear all that." And then the grifters took over. Was like, "Yeah, see, we were right." And then they doubled and tripled down on their grift, and people were like, "Yeah, no, we don't like you either." like go away. You're worse, actually. Disappear. Like legitimately, if the first thing if the first thing you're looking for in a new video game trailer is the ethnicity or gender of the protagonist, you need help. like if that's your priority over the visuals, the gameplay, even the music, you need help. Are these designs attachable? The PlayStation covers for Wolverine, you can buy them in yellow and black, or this silver and black. There's a bundle you can where you get the yellow. It comes with a digital edition of the PS5, the controller, and a code for the Wolverine game. And you can buy all the covers separately as well. The silver and black ones are the covers for the PS5 Pro. You can buy the controllers for both separately. The plates are for both this version of the PS5 and the digital version of the PS5. I do think it's only for the latest edition of the PS5 though. What's up, Sneaky? Keep in mind, the launch PS5 is smaller, is bigger than the PS5s that have been releasing the last few years. They upgraded to the slim edition, so those are a different size than if you got a launch PS5. Keep that in mind. I was trying to see if Insomniac had answered whether or not they would be compatible with like the bigger versions. It wasn't in the blog, so I was looking through their Twitter to see if they left a comment or someone asked about it. I had to go through so many dumb comments, bro. It's crazy how many people are just not willing to look at the trailer or just read the blog. I had to go through like 30 questions from people who are just asking stuff that they answered in the blog. Like, it was so crazy. And I finally found a response where Insomniac said that they can buy separate covers for the latest PS5 and the PS5 Pro, which sounds like it means the PS5 Slims and the PS5 Pro. I'm your favorite YouTuber of all time. I appreciate that. That's crazy. There are a lot of great YouTubers, so that is a high honor. I'm not even my favorite YouTuber. Is there going to be any new info? There's going to be new info. There's going to be new footage. The hands-on preview event, basically people were flown out to Insomniac's studio, got to do a tour. They got to meet Liam, who of course plays Wolverine, and they got to play a demo of the Wolverine game. So all the impressions people are writing, all the big, I think pretty much all the big outlets, I think were there. IGN, Game Informer, I think they were all over there. Eurogamer. And then they had some select content creators like Caboose was over there, Blitzwinger was over there. So they're gonna talk about how they felt about the game, what they played, what levels they experienced, and everything like that. Usually, Insomniac also provides B-roll. The last time they did a preview event was for Spider-Man 2, and they didn't let people capture their footage. They sent them all home with like B-roll. and said, okay, when the embargo lifts and you're allowed to talk about it, you can use this B-roll because they didn't allow you to capture. I think it was the same here. Who's my favorite YouTuber of all time? Probably Corey Kenshin. I'm a Corey enjoyer. I think he's just the GOAT. Love the Rab Rad too. Rab Rad, Chris Smooth, Corey Kenshin were like some of the YouTubers I looked up to the most. With the yellow covers, I want to get all. I'm going to end up getting just all of them. I just want all of them. I just want all of them for my collection. Just a little tease. There, you get to play as Wolverine, and you get to fight bad guys. Shout out to Cambridge. Hello, hello. Did you show Marvel's Wolverine? Everything that I showed is on the screen right now. Your name's Yusef. You've been watching since Spider-Man 2. I appreciate you. That was a fun era. The Spider-Man 2 hype. Spider-Man 2 hype definitely a lot bigger than the Wolverine hype so far. Obviously, because Spider-Man's the most popular superhero of all time. But still legit excited for Wolverine. I actually like Wolverine as a character more than I like Spider-Man. So I think I'm actually more excited to actually play this one than I was for Spider-Man 2. When is this hard to get? I would imagine that it's not. I think it's going to, obviously scalpers are going to be a problem, but I would imagine that the Spider-Man 2 merch is just going to be more popular just by nature of the fact that it's Spider-Man. There are just a lot more Spider-Man fans. What are your thoughts on Liam? I think Liam's doing a great job. I'm still getting used to the face, but in terms of his actual performance, I think he's perfect. I think he did a perfect job of channeling all the complexities of Wolverine's character. He's got the voice down pretty well. You know, I'm used to, you know, when my default voice when I think of Wolverine is Steve Bloom. That's the Wolverine voice. That's the voice I most associate with Wolverine. But I think Liam is still doing a great job from everything I've seen so far. So I'm excited to see more. Love the Fresh Start suit. One of your cousin's costume. Nice. Yeah. It's definitely one of my favorite live action suits. I think my favorite live action suit is still Andrew's TASM 2, but the Brand New Day suit is up there. Would I rather date Jean Grey, Wolverine, or Apocalypse? Obviously Jean Grey, for sure. All the complexities of a man with amnesia or rage. Yeah, that's actually quite complex. Clearly. Someone dealing with amnesia, rage, issues of rage that they don't necessarily know the origins of because of the amnesia. We also clearly see that Wolverine can be kind as well, you know, in his interactions with Jean and rescuing the Morlocks. So yeah, Wolverine is in fact a complex character, and I think they're doing a good job. There's Steve Bloom. Yeah, Steve Bloom is just a goat voice actor, bro. I can never go wrong with Steve Bloom. Like, some people get annoyed when they hear the same voice actor and everything, but Steve Bloom is just so goated and does so many voices. Like, He's just perfect. But it makes sense that they got Liam because because Insomniac when they do a lot of voice stuff, like they like to do facial capture as well. And I think that's their preference. So they wanted to find an actor who's like a really good actor who they could also, you know, hook up the mocap with and do the visual expressions and stuff for, rather than just get a face model and then have a voice model on top of that. Whether mutants we hope show up, I don't. As much as I would love it, I don't think there's going to be a Hulk fight. I would obviously love it. So far, and I've been reading the comic too. They've got a couple issues of the Wolverine prequel comic that I've been going through. I think they're up to issue 3. That's where we first found out that Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister, is going to be a big part of the game. He's the leader of Team X. We got to see obviously Sabretooth, Mystique. They're part of Team X. Where I was not invited to a playtest. Sony betrayed us with the new price of PS5 consoles. I mean, what does that have to do with Wolverine though? Hulk fight would be peak. Absolute peak. The Lady Deathstrike fight looks really good. The Ogun fight looks good. The Mega Red fight seems like it's going to be epic. The Sentinel fight looks good. I'm wondering how much Sentinel we're going to get overall. I love the hand being included. Jean Grey or X-23. I definitely prefer Jean. I was never an X-23 fan. What's the point of B-roll in footage instead of allowing recording your gameplay? So when studios send people with gameplay instead of letting them record their captured footage, it's typically because they want to. It's typically because they plan to, for one, they're obviously going to have a review period where they'll be able to show their captured footage. For the preview, they're just still promoting the game. So when they bring people in to do these like early preview hands-on tests, it's for a demo of a unfinished version of the game. So what they don't want to do is give the impression that the game is going to be unfinished, because most people don't read, unfortunately, in the social media age. So if they see someone with footage from the hands-on preview and there's like a bug or something, they're going to assume that's the final game. And so rather than deal with that, they curate specific footage from that demo and then give it to everybody so that everyone has roughly the same footage, so they can properly showcase what they want to showcase about those parts of the game. But when it's time for reviews, then that's when you get to see people's recorded footage, because Insomniac will then, all the people who get reviews will be sent the actual game, and then they'll be allowed to capture their own footage, and that's when we'll see and get a full preview. Like, the preview is just for people giving their initial impressions on what they played and everything like that, and then the actual review period is when they get to take their time, play through the whole thing themselves with the day one patch, and tell you exactly what they thought. Just join the footage The footage will be up when the timer hits 0. If you get invited to a preview, they will tell you whether or not you're allowed to capture your own footage. If they tell you no one can capture their own footage, that means no one captures their own footage. You can take video of your tour like they did. I saw Caboose posted a vlog of his tour of Insomniac. He showed the area where they got to play the demo. They showed the start screen of Wolverine. But if they tell you you're not allowed to capture footage, you're not allowed to capture footage. Do you think this game could be played with no prior knowledge? It's not a sequel. It's an original origin story game set in Insomniac's own universe, their own interpretation of Wolverine and the mutants. Tony Todd, rip, your favorite actor. Yeah, it's still tragic. Tony Todd was such a good Venom. Rise of Hydra, yeah, I wish. We'll see what happens at Gamescom. I'm definitely not expecting Rise of Hydra to show anything for the rest of the year, but I hope at least we get something for Iron Man. It's way past due for us to get an Iron Man trailer. My side for Blood of Dawnwalker, for sure. New gameplay, there should be some new gameplay. Someone asked up there, yeah, I read the first 3 issues of Wolverine's on the prequel comic. Yeah, I've been reading it on the Marvel Unlimited app. Really enjoying the app too. I wasn't initially like interested in the app, but I find myself using the Marvel Unlimited app a lot more than I thought. So it's just nice to have. So Cyclops and Jean Grey are girlfriend, boyfriend. Keep in mind, there's a long history of Wolverine and Jean Grey's relationships. They vary and vary. It depends on the story. It depends on the writers. They have a very long history. Sometimes they've been romantically involved. More casual people know it as Jean Grey and Cyclops. There is no Cyclops so far in Marvel's Wolverine. This is again set in Insomniac's Marvel universe. This is their original story set in the Insomniac Marvel universe they established with Spider-Man. There is no X-Men yet. So far, there is no Cyclops, but there is a Wolverine, there's a Jean Grey, and they have a history and obviously a lot of chemistry. What's up, Blaze? Have I read any of the Marvel Rivals comics? Yeah, I read all of them. I've been following them every week. I have to anyway because I cover Marvel Rivals on the channel, but I'm actually enjoying them. I just wrapped up the latest arc they had for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which they basically used to set up Gore the God Butcher. I think there'll probably be I think there'll be references. I don't know if Deadpool and Hulk will actually appear. I cannot say anything about the Wolverine hands-on preview until the timer hits 0. Thoughts on Logan and Jean being together? Instead, I like, as much as I like Cyclops, I prefer seeing Wolverine have Jean, at least for a little while. I'm unlike other people, I'm not attached to seeing Jean and Cyclops together. I feel like she has more chemistry with Wolverine. I feel like their relationship is more interesting. I like Wolverine with Storm as well, but I enjoy seeing Wolverine when he gets Jean, because it reminds me of Naruto and Sakura. Oh, except Jean is like much more likable than Sakura. But you know, you kind of root for him, you know. You want him to see. There's clearly a vibe. Jean clearly has feelings for Wolverine. You know, just, you know, Scott ends up in there, and you know, it's complicated. I like it better. I personally ship Jean and Logan over Cyclops. I actually like Cyclops with Emma. I've always thought that was pretty fun. Logan's better with Aurora. They're both pretty great. I do like Jean. I do like the Jean Logan pairing though. I kind of want to see Storm and Bishop, to be honest. Naruto got better in the end. Yeah, for sure. Hinata was definitely the correct choice. Because even in the beginning, like when Naruto had like a huge crush on Sakura, I didn't see the appeal, because Sakura was so annoying in part one. Like the writing for, in general, I thought Kishimoto's writing for the female characters was pretty bad, especially early on. But he made Sakura so annoying. I just couldn't understand why Naruto kept going after her. I'm like, bro, she's horrible. Like Hinata's just right there. Hell, Ino was right there. Like Tenten, anybody. Like Sakura was just so whack, bro. She didn't get interesting at all as a character until after she trained with Tsunade. What is a preview embargo? An embargo is a set time where you are allowed to share confidential information. This is a very common and well known thing in, particularly in gaming and movies, entertainment. People who get early access to movies or a show or a video game, they'll be given an embargo date and time, and before that embargo date and time, they will not be allowed to discuss or share anything from what they experienced outside of what they are allowed to, which is typically all that telling people that they played that thing or watched that thing. Then when the embargo lifts, all the rules are gone, and they're allowed to share whatever they want to share. When the timer goes to 0, I'll talk about what I know about I'll share the new screenshots. I'll talk about what I know. I'll talk about what the preview demo was, and then I'll react to some of the media outlets and creators to see what they thought of the game. So I want to see, you know, I'll check out Caboose, we'll check out Eurogamer, IGN, whatever, see what they thought of Wolverine. Shikamaru and Naruto both won the waifu department, 100%. How long I think a game would be? Same length as all the other Insomniac games. They typically are the same length. Interesting thing about the Venom game, Jason said people miss. He said basically ignore the Najee comments. Yeah, I covered that before. Yeah, the Najee Deer comments basically he said it's not true. Yeah, I remember that. Is there going to be? Yeah, there should be new gameplay. I don't know how long the B-roll is going to be, but there is new screenshots and there should be some new gameplay. Will there be any narrative spoilers? I mean, yeah. Not like the end of not like the end of the not like the end of the game or anything like that, but I guess if you don't want to know what the opening mission of Wolverine is, then you, you want to skip the preview? We need an Incredible Hulk game. Yeah, it's definitely long past due for a Hulk game. I saw that the studio, I had made a video on this, the studio that originally did the Hulk Ultimate Destruction game, they had closed down, but they actually started back up. So I'm hoping like we could get a remaster or a remake of Hulk Ultimate Destruction, or just like a new standalone game. I think that'd be fire. You like PS4 Spider-Man or PS5? PS5. Would it be Dynamic Dismemberment? I don't know anything about the fist combat, but I know that there's going to be. I mean, we've seen some of this already. Wolverine is going to have attacks where he's not using his claws, like he has a kick, and there is actual dismemberment. It's not just a cutscene or anything like that. There's actual combat dismemberment. The Blade game already updated. On the game is the studio is waiting to find new funding because Xbox got rid of them, so they have to find somebody to fund the game so they can finish it, or it's canceled. Nothing new on Iron Man yet. What other heroes do you think that has get a standalone game that hasn't been announced yet? I don't know. Probably I think we'll probably get one of the more I think we'll definitely get a Deadpool game at some point. Another standalone Deadpool game. Actually, we already got that's not VR. I think there's a good chance we get something for like Hulk or Thor. One of the bigger ones because they like to go for like bigger characters with like more name recognition. What's happening in 8 minutes? The embargo lifts, and everyone who got to play Wolverine early will be allowed to share their impressions from the hands-on preview. What's up, Meadow? Great to see you. Appreciate you. Moon Knight game would be fun. There's a lot of games out that I hope they make. Obviously, if we're not just talking about Marvel, DC wise, I think we're going to get a Superman game at some point. I think we could get a Teen Titans game at some point. I think DC we're going to see a lot more variation on potential superhero games because WB has the advantage of owning DC and producing games, whereas when it comes to Marvel, they're relying on we only get Marvel games because somebody licenses, and that's like a lot less common because it's way more expensive. All right, my timer is actually off, so it's only like 1 minute until 1. So in 1 minute, the embargo lifts. What's up? What's up, Gabe? We definitely need a Green Lantern game. Static Shock for sure. We actually are having that new Marvel team up game. So far it's called Project Comet. It's being compared to Ultimate Alliance, Genshin Impact. I'm really excited to see more from that one. I've already been told some stuff. I've seen some gameplay. Looks amazing. It's going to be for mobile and PC, and I think eventually it'll be on console. But it has a lot of potential as like an action RPG. All right, embargo's done. Embargo is up. All right, so for the demo that people played, they got to check out the opening mission of Marvel's Wolverine. The game starts with Wolverine running through the forest. It's very, very feral, and he gets rescued by Nathaniel Essex, who is of course Mr. Sinister for people that know. And then you go right into a mission where you have to break into a Trask facility where they are holding him prisoner, and that's where they introduce you to all of the combat mechanics and everything like that. Let me see if I can find the new footage, and we're going to do some reactions as well. It's not coming up on my computer. Let me go sort by folder. Here we go. So this is the mission I was talking about with Nathaniel Essex. We were trying to rescue him. Yeah, Caboose was one of the ones who played it. What's up? What's up? My computer's glitching. Ooh. Trying to sort through. Hold up. You did. Got a force quit. Just got a really mean glitch. All right, there we go. So this is from that mission with Nathaniel Essex, where you're fighting. You're wearing your Team X uniform and you're rescuing him from the trash facility. This is where you're introduced to the Last Stand feature. I think you have to get to rage. I think you have to get to tier 2 on your rage meter to unlock the Last Stand feature, where you can revive yourself. This is my favorite new screenshot. This is Wolverine and Mystique, and it's the classic Mystique. She's not wearing her Team X uniform. This is classic Mystique. Insomniac's interpretation of the comic look. I think she looks a bit. Yeah, the people saying Mystique looks ugly in this game are LARPing. Like, there's no way. That is pure grift. Like, Mystique looks amazing in Wolverine. I think Insomniac did an amazing job. Like, this looks way better. This design looks way better than the Avengers Doomsday one. I think the hair looks perfect. They did a really great job capturing the suit. That's a perfect Mystique. That is a perfect interpretation of Mystique. Love the character of Marvel Wolverine. Yeah, I'm enjoying the character of Marvel Wolverine. I like the plaid, the cowboy hat. I think it looks really good. Do you think there would be photo mode? I'm pretty sure there's photo mode. It would be weird without photo mode. This video's out. All right, let's check out Caboose's impressions on Wolverine. I'm curious. I think I know how Caboose felt, but we'll check him out. I'm always like to hear from Caboose. Because he's obviously passionate, but he's typically pretty fair as well. He's not afraid to say if he doesn't like something or not. But he does it in a way. But if he doesn't like something, he does it in a way that isn't weird and unnecessarily toxic. All right, so this is Caboose's hands-on impressions.
Guys, my hands-on impressions and my overall thoughts on Marvel's Wolverine. As I have mentioned in past videos, PlayStation Canada flew me out to Los Angeles to get an early hands-on with the game and actually got to play it at Insomniac Games. What we're gonna do today, though, is we're gonna go over my thoughts on the gameplay, on the story,
so
on
this
the
is the B-roll
content, and just every single thing I have.
So this is B-roll. This is what I was talking about. This is B-roll from the from the mission that you got to play. This is where you have to rescue Nathaniel, aka Mr. Sinister. It's basically your tutorial mission. You jump out the helicopter, and then it introduces you to all the basic moves and combos and everything like that. So I think everyone's just going to have roughly the same footage.
Side content and just every single thing I have to say about this game. I've got a ton of notes that I put together here, and I want to give you guys as much as I possibly can in this video. So hit that thumbs up button for the dedication as well if you're excited for Marvel's Wolverine. A very mild spoiler warning ahead. If you do not want to know anything about story from here on, if you want to go in completely blind, I totally understand. Now's your chance. I also wanted to confirm as well, we weren't able to capture any of our own gameplay. Everything that you're seeing in this video was B-roll that was provided to us by PlayStation. All right, so the game quite literally immediately starts with the woods, and it's Logan as a literal feral animal. The dude's in his underwear and he's in the woods, and he doesn't even speak. And it's Nathaniel Essex who approaches Logan and brings him in. This obviously implies that he then trains Logan as he's building out Team X. We cut to 30 years later.
Have I been reading the prequel comics? Yeah.
And you're actually
I've read the first 3.
Team X to retrieve or to save Nathaniel Essex as he's currently in captivity from Bolivar Trask. And yeah, listen, I'm an X-Men fan, okay? I grew up on this world. I love these characters. They mean a lot to me. I wasn't the biggest fan of just frame 1, the idea of this story being that a younger Logan is taken in by Nathaniel
Sony
Essex.
phasing out this.
I use the term younger loosely, by the way. He still looks the same age because he's probably like,
I mean, if you want to get Wolverine,
how old by the time
just get a
Essex
PS5.
finds him, and he clearly doesn't age all that much in the 30-year time skip. But a lot of people will immediately know, if you're a comic reader especially, that the kind of foundation of this story very much follows similar beats to that of Cyclops. And he's being done dirty in the Insomniac X-Men world. Nathaniel Essex is finding Logan instead of finding Cyclops at a younger age. And Wolverine is into Jean Grey instead of Jean Grey ending up with Cyclops instead. So it's I'm an upset Cyclops fan, okay? I understand it's a new...
Yeah. Caboose is a Cyclops fan. I like Cyclops. I was always more of a Wolverine guy. Even as a kid, I thought Cyclops was kind of a dork. I was low key. I was actually high key, just always rooting for Wolverine, and I was like kind of rooting for Wolverine to take his girl from him. Not gonna lie, when I was watching the X-Men '92 cartoon, so when I saw Insomniac leaning into the Wolverine Jean thing, I was happy. I don't care. I don't care about Cyclops. Cyclops gets enough girls. Like, he'll be fine.
New take, so I'm gonna try and reserve a full judgments for when the entire game is out. But listen, as a comic reader, as someone who's a bit of a purist when it comes to X-Men things, I got to admit that there were some moments, at least from the beginning of the story that I experienced, that I was a little upset with. But it's crazy because one moment I'm like, oh man, I really wish they wouldn't have gone this route. And then we cut to 30 years later and we're having this incredible dynamic between Logan and Sabretooth. Sabretooth does not like Wolverine, okay? He calls him a runt several times, and there is just very clearly this immediate tension between the two characters.
Yeah, I like Cyclops, but
really dug. Sabretooth is just
he wasn't like my top 10
off at like every single thing that Wolverine is doing. In some cases, Wolverine's trying to play along with it. He sticks up 2 claws that give him the middle finger.
Love it.
You can kind of see that they're slowly starting to build this out, and I'd have to imagine it's going to culminate to some sort.
I love that they included this. Let me see.
Single thing that Wolverine is doing. In some cases, Wolverine's trying to play along with it. He sticks up to
like this is perfect. Cause I remember they did it. Insomniac was doing interviews, and I think it was IGN. Forgot which outlet it was. I think it was IGN who asked about this. They wanted to know if Wolverine stuck up the middle claws, and Insomniac wouldn't answer it. They wouldn't answer the question, but now we see they threw that in there as a nice little as a nice little surprise for the preview event. That's perfect. Wolverine flipping up the claws to Sabretooth. Chef's kiss. That's beautiful.
Claws that give him the middle finger, but you can kind of see that they're slowly starting to build this out, and I'd have to imagine it's going to culminate to some sort of a fight between the two. But you're immediately thrust into gameplay. You're running through a battlefield with all these trash soldiers shooting at you. There's explosions left and right, and Wolverine is charging to the front line. It's just another opening mission in a long line of them from Insomniac now, where they just try to make them feel as epic as possible. I wouldn't quite say that the first mission of Wolverine is on the same scale as like fighting Sandman in the opening mission of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, maybe crazy.
Not even as close to the scale of going up against the Kingpin in the first Spider-Man game. But for Wolverine, for the kind of character that he is, it very much works. It's violent, it's brutal, and it just throws you right into the deep end with these characters.
Open the first light. Yeah, it does remind me a little bit.
As well, because you have no
stealth though
at the very start of the game, and you don't have anything unlocked for the character, your immediate instinct is going to just be mash buttons. And yeah, you're going to find success with that. You'll find success with that in any video game, but it can feel a little like I'm just mashing square and trying to get through this. There is a parry, of course, so you have some defensive options, which is nice, and you'll have to dodge out of the way of these farther ranged attacks. And if you hit triangle when you're a certain distance away from an enemy, you can leap right to them to close the distance immediately. But a lot of what makes the combat in Wolverine really feel great is when you get further along and start to unlock your adaptations, your advanced techniques, and your general techniques. Techniques are kind of like the general ways to engage in combat, you know, like an ability to automatically block gunshots when you're running, or like
nothing. It's probably the stream.
Attack straight out of a dodge or straight out of sprinting. Then you have the advanced techniques. These are what you saw in a lot of the gameplay that's available for Marvel's Wolverine right now, like the tornado spin or whatever it might be. And there are ways to even upgrade these abilities so that they recharge faster or so that you're spinning for longer. And then you have adaptations, which are just like general upgrades to Wolverine, such as like options to recharge certain special attacks faster, or building more rage when you get hit by ranged attacks, things like that. Now, I had a chance to interview the developers at Insomniac, and
this was a cool. This is a cool feature. They started leaning into this a little bit more in Spider-Man 2, like when they started introducing different skills. But for Wolverine, they're making it more like an RPG, more like an action RPG where you have like different build paths essentially, rather than just these are the skills, you unlock everything, and that's just your character. They make it so that you can like lean into different play styles and everything like that, which I think is a nice little evolution on the way they do their combat in their superhero games. I think that's a nice cool twist.
They did confirm to me you cannot equip every single adaptation. There is a limit. And what's really interesting is that certain adaptations will work better in different kinds of combat encounters. So there may be a set of adaptations that are better for a boss battle, or maybe there will be better adaptations to fight against the Hand or the Reavers or the Trask bodyguards. Sometimes when you're going into what might seem like a lengthy combat encounter, you might want to jump into your adaptations and re-tinker with them a little bit to make it fit or feel more suited to the combat encounter you're about to jump into. I thought that was a really nice touch. It almost kind of makes it feel like an RPG in a way. And yeah, the combat is brutal. This is so violent. In that opening mission, there is a section where you're fighting alongside Sabretooth, and oh my goodness, the things those two do to those Trask guards.
And for people that are worried about the violence in Wolverine, once again, Insomniac has a lot of accessibility options in Wolverine, so you can actually customize the level of violence that is shown in the game. You can have like a little, if you want less blood, or if you just want, less gore in general. You don't want dismemberment. You want to. It can be a little violent when he's healing, when he takes a lot of damage and heal. If you want to limit how that looks, you can customize all of that in the accessibility menu. So if you want to go full violence, you can just leave it as is. But if you want to bring it down a little bit, maybe you have someone younger who wants to play it, you can cuss, or you're making content, you're afraid of getting age restricted, you can customize all that.
Is, oh my god, it's so gross. Some of the team up attacks, the way that they're
I'm going all in on the violence.
Jumping off of Sabretooth's back at some points to take down an enemy. It's so sick. You just feel the ferocity from both these characters during the combat. What you're always really trying to do in combat is get the opponent stunned. Sometimes if you hold square, you can kick an enemy. If you kick them into a wall,
fight with Sabretooth is so crazy.
Allow you to go for a barrage of attacks, which will lead to an immediate kill. And in the first mission, there are some stealth sections, but I'll be honest, it's very bare bones. Just your standard walk through the tall grass so that enemies can't see you and get your stealth kills when you're close enough to an enemy. Not much more that seems to be fleshed out with it from what I could tell off first glance. Because honestly, in general, the game very much is supposed to be an action game, and I do feel like a lot of the time
the X-ray
they want
feature.
you to just go in claws a-blazing. You also fight along Mystique during some parts of this mission, and with her, it's a bit of a different dynamic, because sometimes she'll turn herself into a Trask guard and help you out with stealth in certain cases, or in other instances, I mean, she's just getting in there and attacking the enemies as well, because she's well-versed in hand-to-hand combat. In general, the combat feels at its best when you have
This reminds me of the level in Queens, New York, with in Peter's neighborhood where Peter is asleep and the symbiote takes over. It reminds me of that.
Some upgrades already set in there, and you just start to enter that flow state. You're parrying well, you're dodging those gunshots, and you get that rage built up. Once you get it to like the max, you start to go berserk. You're just obliterating every single thing in your path. There's these incredibly violent kills. You're slicing
When's the gameplay?
off
Says the person
watching
and it's really
gameplay. Cool
gameplay.
because once you enter this rage state, the enemies, like, they get legitimately terrified. Sometimes they're like, oh god, I'm dead. It's awesome. It really adds to the power fantasy of playing as Wolverine. And yeah, a lot of this game has to
think
deal
the
with
Venom game
Oliver
would be as
Trask.
brutal.
Insomniac themselves have said that Trask is the main villain of the game.
I don't
and
actually.
He's truly despicable. This game is M-rated, and that is not exclusive to just Wolverine. Every character fits that M rating.
I think
Trask
Venom will
one
be
of them.
T for
What he
teen.
does as a villain, some of the things that he's doing in general to mutants, it's messed up. There's a moment where you're walking through piles upon piles of dead mutants, and it's just like, my god, it really makes you want to put that guy in the ground. And I mean, it's very accurate to the character. Trask hates mutants. That is very much on display here. We did not get to finish the first mission, that we didn't get far enough into it before they cut us off and put us into another mission, but it did seem like that first mission is going to culminate into a boss fight against Omega Red, as he's featured pretty prominently from the beginning of the mission. We were then thrown later into the game where we are chasing after Bolivar Trask, and it all then leads to a boss battle against a prototype Sentinel. And I love the way that this boss battle evokes that David versus Goliath feel. I do kind of wish that it was like a fully operational Sentinel. I think that would have been awesome, but who knows, maybe that's something they're going to be saving like for later in the game, or if they inevitably do an X-Men game at some point, which would be cool, maybe that's something they just want to hold back on for that time. Still, fighting against a proto Sentinel, having it slamming its arm down, shooting lasers at you, it's epic. And I don't want to spoil too much, okay? I do not want to give too much away. All I will say is that a fastball special is performed during this boss battle. Finally,
yeah, it's not as epic as the Sentinel fight from X-Men Origins Wolverine, but we might get something a little later on in the game, because we do see we do see smaller Sentinels, so maybe we get a more complete version later on.
We then got to experience a mission in Madripoor. This one was a bit slower in pace, and you can see kind of the more quieter moments of the game through this part. You walk through the Princess Bar and interact with a bunch of the characters that are there.
Wolverine releases September 15th.
Saved up until this point in the story. You get to talk to some of the members of Team X, learn some of their motivations, what they're going through as of the events of the story at this point. Tiger is there. She owns the Princess Bar and is actually married to Mystique as of the events in this game. And I believe one of the members of Team X is one Walter Lankowski, who you might know from the comic books as Sasquatch. So that was really cool. In general, there's actually a ton of Easter eggs that I was able to find during my time exploring in the Madripoor mission. In Walter's office, I saw an ace of spades on a table with the signature from one Remy LeBeau, and then somewhere around Madripoor, I also found a poster for Dazzler. So really cool that there's like these nice, neat little references to the wider X-Men world. And it's just good to know that beyond Wolverine and Jean Grey, there are X-Men X-Men out there. Like I said, during this section, there's a moment where you're talking to someone.
Okay, do you not know that game companies
great scene between Wolverine and Sabretooth
send people early access or give people early access to games all the time for a promotion? It's like a very common thing.
You want to call the shots? Kick Essex's ass! Take charge! You won't. You just give a shit when it suits you.
Yeah, I think the performances here are fantastic. They very much immerse me into the world, and while I do have certain issues with different aspects of the story,
you wish for them?
Part,
get a job in game journalism.
In here. And I'm particularly
become a content creator.
Invested in Victor's characterization. I really like what they're doing with Sabretooth. I want to see how it all ends and how it all goes down and the inevitable fight that we're leading to. As you're traversing through some of the more open sections of these missions, you'll find boxes that actually give you materials to unlock suits. Now, there are a lot of alternate costumes.
This is a caboose.
And some different claws that we also got to equip. I'm going to do a video that breaks down every single suit and claw that I was able to note down. But just to give you guys a little sample size, okay, there was the Deadpool and Wolverine movie suit. I did see a classic yellow and blue costume, and also I saw a Weapon X look. One thing that I thought was really cool to
note,
they
do have Weapon X.
You actually can toggle the cowl on or off. So there are some suits where maybe you just want to have the mask off for Wolverine and just have the costume. That's totally an option that's available.
That's pretty gas.
Another thing that you'll find in some of these more open missions are these things called nightmare doors. Now, we actually got a glimpse at this during the story trailer for the game. As you walk into the nightmare door, it is actually a replication of Logan's cabin, and it is here where you can actually decide to go ahead and replay story missions if you'd like, or you can move forward with the actual trial that's ahead.
Yeah, Blitzwinger was there too.
These can range from combat trials, traversal trials, or things like that in general that then unlock memories for Wolverine. I honestly thought this was a really creative way to just explore some more of the lore for the character in the game, while also giving you just a little bit of fun to try out the traversal or the combat and race against time. Although I will say, I did the traversal trial. I think this is a bit of a sore spot for the game right now. Wolverine is not Spider-Man, so obviously you're not swinging on buildings. You know, he's not going to have that same sort of verticality, but he does have like a far leap, and you can sort of grab on and do a little bit of parkour on certain things. It just feels a little weighty. It feels a little clunky, and when he is doing that jump, sometimes that feels quite floaty. I don't know. That was an aspect of the game where I wasn't feeling it all that much. I just wanted to get back on the ground and get back into the combat. And then the mission ends with a chase against the Hand, and once again, this is kind of where it explores a little bit of the sore spot that is traversal in this game. But we were then cut off after a brief fight against the Hand and a little cutscene between Jean Grey and Logan, and I will say overall, I am quite impressed with what I got to play. I have my gripes, I have my issues, especially on the story front. As an X-Men fan, there are some story decisions that I gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'll also be objective in saying that while there were things that I didn't like, there were plenty of things that I was really into. So as I said earlier in the video, I am just gonna wait until I get my full hands on with the game to reserve my judgment for then. I think there are going to be some X-Men fans out there that might have similar opinions that I do when it comes to the story, but I also think that those same X-Men fans are gonna feel the same way I do about characters like Sabretooth. But I'll say as a general note,
I say that when it comes to Insomniac's games, people I think should by now be used to the fact that it's their own universe, it's their own interpretation of the characters. And from what I've seen so far, Insomniac tends to do a really good job of bringing these characters to life and making it their own. Because yeah, it's great, we love these characters, but I don't want to see the same version of the same characters telling the exact same stories in every single game. Like, I think it's not only okay, it should be encouraged for people to try to add something new. Like most people didn't think much of Mr. Negative until we got to see Insomniac's take on the character. I think it's fair to give them the leeway to cook, especially over something like Jean and Wolverine's relationship. Because, like, again, Cyclops has enough girls. Like, who cares? Let Logan eat for a little bit.
that this is just a good action game. You throw this on for a couple of hours and I promise you, you will be having fun. The combat is brutal. It is such a blast to go through, and the boss fights are epic. They are large in scale, at least the one that I got to try out, and I walked away from my hands-on just itching to play more. I literally sat there like, okay, wait, can I just play like one more mission again? Can I just jump back into that same demo? Because I was like really into what we got to play. When it comes to just straight up gameplay, I think they did such a good job here, and at the end of the day, I mean, gameplay is king. But there you have it. That's my hands-on impressions with Marvel's Wolverine. It's as detailed as I could have possibly made it for you guys, but I have so much content coming your way still. I feel like I'm honestly kind of scratching the surface with what I got to play.
W. Caboose, you like the story, which is different, not the same. As Peter B. Parker said, don't do it like me, do it like you. Exactly. Like I can understand if someone tries to like completely butcher a character, or they clearly didn't care about the source material, but that's not the case for Insomniac. Insomniac clearly studies the comics. They care deeply about the lore. So like give them the leeway to tell their own story. Like, it's fine. You don't need to have everything the way it is in your favorite comic issue. Like let them have the space to do their own thing. All right, let me see who else did. I know Blitzwinger did something. I bet I know Blitzwinger's video is like an hour long. Someone Blue Thunder Gaming. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so his is like 40 minutes long. It looks like he's touching on. I'll go through and see if it's worth going through. Now a lot of people posted their oh, here it is. Here's GameSpot's. Let me see what GameSpot thought of it. I'm curious what the bigger outlets thought of Wolverine.
48, the same universe as its Spider-Man games, and opens with an assault on a Weapon X base, where Wolverine teams up with his longtime hater Sabretooth. I played through this section of the game just days after watching them both do the exact same thing in X-Men 97. A foolhardy mission featuring Wolverine is a pretty common narrative beat in Logan's stories, irrespective of format. But that sense of
can't stand the it's not insert whatever you love people just enjoy the content. Exactly, like relax.
What I saw and played of Wolverine. Wolverine is the latest in a type of game that PlayStation has become known for, a mostly linear action game that is narrative driven and uses introspection, self-discovery, and personal growth as theme for character development. What I played wasn't remarkable for its unique ideas, but nevertheless, it made a good impression in the way that it was executed.
That's it. Yeah, we should have faith in Insomniac.
That template works very well for Wolverine.
They typically do great work with the material.
Life spanning hundreds of years.
Yeah, the parkour looks solid.
Through hell, figuratively this time.
It looks okay. I can understand what Caboose is saying though.
The X-Men team hasn't been established in this particular.
The movement is going to feel like Spider-Man.
This is a compelling starting point for the kind of tame the beast within.
It probably feels better when you're on the ground.
A big punch when it comes to this character.
But it also could be something you have to get used to.
Though Wolverine may be a game made from familiar pieces, Insomniac is putting them together in surprising ways. This became apparent from the intro, where a calm, wizened figure finds a feral Logan hiding in the wild and extends a helping hand. If you thought that person was Charles Xavier, founder of the X-Men, you'd be wrong. This time, it's Nathaniel Essex, the X-Men antagonist who will become known as Mr. Sinister. By subverting expectations, Wolverine, the game, not the person, establishes tension and sparks intrigue. It got me thinking about Essex's inevitable turn and what could potentially trigger a schism between him and Logan. But my more immediate task was to team up with Sabretooth and Mystique. Team X, as the trio is known, was put together by Essex and are now trying to rescue him from the clutches of lunatic human supremacist Bolivar Trask.
I think people should by now be used to the idea of these Marvel stories being unique.
Let's get the easy part.
I think the
out of
important
way.
thing is respect
Gameplay
for the
is
source
brutal
material,
and has been designed to
rather than
encourage
trying to
rewriting
copy it.
so that the violence, along with being true to the character and feeling very satisfying, also feeds into the narrative. This, for me, is the most interesting part of the game thus far. Fundamentally,
Like I love X-Men 92, but I also loved X-Men Evolution. It was a different vibe. I thought both were great shows. And from what I've seen, Wolverine looks really good. Like, especially for people who love those X-Men Origins Wolverine game. If you wanted some more brutal combat compared to the Spider-Man games, this looks like it's going to be right up your alley. A lot of violence.
the mechanics of the
Yeah, a little more
are
depth.
the same we've seen for years now. Light attacks, heavy attacks, a timing-based parry, and dodges to create openings. And like in similar action-oriented superhero games, you can develop all these mechanics by unlocking new skills or enhance them by unlocking perks, which the game calls adaptations. It's all the essential building blocks of the free-flow combat system popularized by Rocksteady's Batman Arkham games, and now used in pretty much every game that has melee fighting in it. But what stuck with me was a sense of momentum that slowly builds as Wolverine lays waste to his enemies, how that feeds into Logan's mental state, and how the player becomes an active participant in that mind-body connection. Although Logan doesn't know who he is anymore, he has an acute awareness that inside him is something monstrous fighting to be let loose, which scares him. In the thick of combat, that push and pull struggle.
Some of the Marvel games set in a different universe.
Yeah,
a lot of people, especially online, seem to forget that.
Factor, he still feels pain and can be visibly injured. Rage, which splits into segments, begins as a way of recovering health, but the longer the violence goes on.
I was hoping we get a peek of the skill tree. That's the adaptation tree. The skills are right here. They showed it already.
These mechanics by unlocking new skills or enhance them by unlocking perks, which
these are the perks. This is the perk system is how you kind of shape your build.
the game calls adaptations. It's all the essential
adaptations
of the free flow combat
is what
system
they call it.
popularized by Rocksteady's Batman Arkham.
And this is the technique tree. So the adaptation tree is basically how you set, kind of customize your build the way you play. Those are what you're going to be limited to the amount you can pick. So you kind of decide how you want to play, and then you use the adaptation tree to shape that. And if there's a particular mission that calls for maybe a different build, you can play around with that. Whereas the technique tree is like the more they're taking more of the traditional skill tree, where you have your techniques like the tornado spin, the Pharaoh leap, and then you upgrade them as you go along.
Games, and now used in pretty much every game that has melee fighting in it. But what stuck with me was a sense
that part's going to be similar to what we saw in Spider-Man 2 with their techniques, with their skill technique system, where you have your wheel that can hold 4 abilities at a time, and then you can cycle through all of them.
of momentum that slowly builds as Wolverine lays waste to his enemies, how that feeds into Logan's mental state, and how the player becomes an active participant in that mind-body connection. Although Logan doesn't know who he is anymore, he has an acute awareness that inside him is something monstrous fighting.
How many suits? I might do a video, but I think there's, trying to remember the last suit count was what, was it 16 suits from last count? I'm thinking, hold up. There's the five pre-order suits. There was the 5 pre-order suits. I mean the 5 deluxe edition suits.
An acute awareness that inside him is something monstrous fighting to be let loose, which scares him.
That's one suit right there. So there's the 5 deluxe edition. The brown suit for the pre-order, that's 6. The Team X suit right there. There's the let's say 27 so far. Yeah, there's, from what we've seen, you know, there's a Team X, there's the plaid shirt, the red plaid shirt. There's the patch suit, the brown leather jacket and jeans, the coat with the thermal. Then for new suits, we got the Weapon X suit, the Deadpool and Wolverine suit. There was another classic yellow suit. So decent amount so far. There's the tank top as well. The white tank top.
In the thick of combat, that push and pull struggle is represented by a meter that tracks his rage.
I don't know if they
Although
let them
Logan has
capture
a
footage
healing
of him.
factor, he still
Doesn't look like they
feels
let them
pain
capture
and
footage
can
of
be
them.
visibly injured. Rage, which splits into segments, begins as a way of recovering health, but the longer the violence goes on, the more Logan's rage meter builds and the more aggressive he becomes. For the player, that creates a satisfying loop.
Age of Apocalypse suit, that was one of the that was one of the deluxe edition
escalating
exclusives.
emotions. The demands and the precision required of the player.
Oh, and there's the
Tokon
Fighting Souls, the suit from Tokon Fighting Souls.
Until there's a kind of parity between the player's input and Logan's blind rage and indiscriminate killing. Wolverine's opening salvo usually begins with a leap that closes the gap between himself and the enemy. With his claws out, he plunges into his target and launches into a series of quick attacks that can be ended with a more powerful one.
Hope we get another animated suit besides the Tokon one. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe something from like one of the animated shows.
Back and forth that requires directing Wolverine towards the most imminent threats, be they a soldier firing a gun from long range or one using a shield to take the sting out of his attacks. In one situation, Wolverine was lured into a room that takes away his healing factor, which means the player also needs to juggle taking out the devices suppressing his mutant abilities on top of the dangerous foes surrounding him. As the rage built up, I initially
may not be able to play a game. You're gonna be too busy looking for suits. You won't have to play the game to find the suits.
By doing so, recovers health. This pairing of attacking until a bar of rage is available to heal and then repeating was very effective. However,
I would love X-Men 92 suit and X Evolution suit.
The crowd of fodder, it becomes easier to maintain rage and continue building towards increasing the meter to its 3rd level.
This is a GameSpot.
About the same time I reached level 2, I found that the game was usually trying to overwhelm me with enemies, which pushed me to make quicker decisions in target prioritization, while also parrying and dodging, leaping to targets, attacking them, and moving on. This felt like an intentional ratcheting up of pressure, specifically designed to make the eventual payoff feel intoxicating, and it worked very well. At level 2 rage,
One thing to note about the parry system is that they added another level of attack. Usually there's like an attack. There are the enemies that throw attacks that you can't parry. Well, they included one. They made it so that there's like a riskier parry where if you were successful, it caused you to do a takedown. So I thought that was a pretty cool addition rather than just a normal parry system. There's a riskier one where you can actually have a big payoff at the end. I thought that was pretty cool.
I was cutting through Trox soldiers like they were made of butter. watching as the world around me was showered in blood and a grunting Logan leaped from one enemy.
Insomniac doesn't get enough credit for his accessibility options. Yeah, they really go all out.
A whole lot of eviscerated baddies later, Wolverine's rage reached level 3. At level 3, Wolverine can launch into a berserker frenzy. This sees him essentially losing some degree of control as he's driven by pure animalistic instinct. The world loses
Pre-order,
its
can't
color,
wait.
Desaturating into black and white, and the sound of the music.
I'm about to pre-order the plates and controller.
Heavy breathing and snarls, and the snick of his claws as they slice through bodies and the environment around him.
Yeah, the Rage Tier 3 mode looks gas.
Crucially, the player's inputs simplify to just hitting 2 trigger buttons to viciously maul anyone in his path, instantly killing them. That process no doubt sounds pretty ordinary on paper, but I'd be lying if I didn't admit that the synergy between the various systems building into a big violent payoff put a smile on my face. It's one of the ideas that Insomniac has implemented to bring authenticity to the character in the same way that exhilarating web-swinging, mid-air pirouettes and impromptu backflips were how the studio realized the fantasy of being Spider-Man. There's a level of satisfaction that comes from the sudden shift from
X97 brown suit, that'd be pretty cool.
Evasive maneuvers to simply hammering 2 buttons to obliterate everyone and everything that embodies Wolverine and his anger so well. But it was also released for me too.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that this is not an open world game. I know people have gotten used to that when Insomniac Spider-Man games, but I felt like Wolverine in particular made a lot of more sense as not an open world game. Because again, he's not like Spider-Man. The reason why Spider-Man works as an open world game is because Spider-Man has to be an open world. He moves around too much. Like he's Spider-Man. He's swinging through the city. He's got pretty much unlimited movement, you know, then he's got the web wings on top of that. So it just makes sense to put that in an open world environment. Whereas Wolverine, he's not. Like he's a lot more grounded. He's usually running around. He can climb buildings, you know, with his claws, but he's not nearly as mobile. The only really vehicle he has is the motorcycle. So I think it definitely fits very well to make this a more linear game rather than just try to force this big open world sandbox where you're like going through checklists of side activities. Like I feel like you don't need to force open world games. I think it's perfectly fine to have a more linear experience with like open areas that you can play around in, but at the same time keep it more focused, because I feel like some open world games could just have too much bloat. Like you don't need it.
Like Logan, I was able to throw out the need to think about what I was doing and give in to effortless and mindless killing. In this berserker state, continue to attack and kill adds to his rage meter, which means it's possible to stay in that mode for extended periods of time, making the crash all the more effective when the berserker state ends and sights and sounds of the world come rushing back, leaving Wolverine and the player to deal with the death and destruction they wrought together. It's a very neat trick that for the couple of hours I played never got old. Whether that transition remains as effective over multiple hours remains to be seen, but I suspect that being able to unlock new techniques and adaptations will keep things fresh. That satisfaction of combat is what I left thinking most about, but there were a number of other noteworthy elements that I'm eager to explore.
Close quarters combat.
As mentioned,
yeah, for sure.
Arc from idealist to lunatic is a major one. During my session, I reached a point where cracks started to form in his relationship with Logan, as Essex started to descend into his own kind of savagery. But there are also numerous other characters and relationships that are similarly intriguing. This is one of the few instances of non-comic book X-Men material choosing to explore Mystique beyond the usefulness of her shape-shifting abilities in Subterfuge. She's actually the cooler head on Team X, and often has to keep Wolverine and Sabretooth on task. She's depicted as smart,
yes, that is Troy Baker
and very much
as Mr. Sinister.
That's part of the character we haven't seen much of on screen. Similarly, there's nuance in the way Sabretooth is depicted. Although he's constantly giving Wolverine grief and goading him,
he's a ground warrior basically like Kratos, exactly.
A kind of kindred spirit. And though he'll never admit it, he's the closest thing Sabretooth has.
That's why the God of War games work.
That means that when cracks in Team X start,
it's not meant to be like this massive open world.
Very poorly, lashing out at Logan.
Sold on Troy Baker. Yeah, Troy Baker is Mr. Sinister. That's going to be interesting.
Jean Grey, meanwhile, is on the run, trying to help her fellow mutants while evading capture. As outcasts, Logan and Jean start to build a relationship that brings out the vulnerabilities in both of them. And surprisingly, my time with the game ended with the introduction of the Hand, a criminal organization that usually shows up in Daredevil stories, but are a big part of Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah, they did a great job on
Paved the
Sabretooth.
way for Lady Deathstrike to further complicate Logan's life. It's undeniable that Insomniac's take on Logan is firmly planted in familiar game design, but Wolverine is clearly doing more than just fitting a typical story of the character in it. From the little I played, its take on Logan, the way it continues to build out Earth 1048, and the authenticity of the character in how he plays are where the team is aiming to distinguish the game. Given that these are the same pillars that catapulted Insomniac Spider-Man titles to success, Wolverine could shape up to be another excellent superhero game from
Shout out to GameSpot as well. So far, consensus seems to be pretty good for the Wolverine hands-on preview. Everyone, as I mentioned before everything started, everybody got the same exact B-roll. They got flown out to Insomniac. They got to do a tour of the studio, and then they got to play a demo. And they were not able to capture the footage of the demo, so everyone was sent with the same collection of B-roll. And they were told, I'm sure they were told, because I've gotten this stuff before, that you have to have commentary. You can't just post the raw footage. You have to have some commentary to go along with it. So they're all mixing it in with their impressions of the game, which seems to be pretty good so far. So we learned we got some cool Easter eggs. There's a reference to Dazzler. There's a reference to Gambit. So Gambit is in this universe. Dazzler's there. We obviously know Mr. Sinister is Nathaniel Essex. He's going to be a big part of all this. He's the leader of Team X. He eventually starts going mad, becomes a radical. They let them see a few more suits. Doesn't seem like they let them see the suits or capture. They didn't send them B-roll of the suits because Caboose didn't include them in the video, but we did get to see what the skill trees and different upgrade trees look like. It's going to be similar to Spider-Man 2. You have the technique tree where you unlock new abilities. There's going to be a wheel with that holds four slots. You unlock the skills. You can put them in those 4 slots however you want. But the new thing that they added is the adaptation tree, which is basically kind of like a more traditional RPG skill tree where you pick specific perks. You have a limited amount, and you can use that to pick lean into a particular build or play style, and you can adapt it to different missions. I think that was a nice, cool touch they added to switch up how the gameplay looks. Also, Mystique looks amazing. Anyone who's saying she's ugly is LARPing. Hope we see a new Avengers game. Closest probably is going to be that. Closest to Avengers game is probably going to be, unless that the one that leaked a while ago gets announced in the next few years. Closest is probably going to be in the immediate future, the Project Comet that's coming out. It's like that Marvel Genshin Impact type of game. I think that's going to be the closest we're getting to Avengers for the foreseeable future. When they reference mutates like Hulk. I think there's definitely going to be references to different, like the fact that they have Gambit in there. They already teased Hulk in the first trailer for Wolverine with the license plate that references the Hulk issue where Wolverine first appeared. So I think there's probably going to be something for Hulk. Probably a Wade Wilson reference. They literally have the Deadpool and Wolverine suit in the game, we found out. So that's going to be cool. Full on Avengers game not coming until 2030s. Yeah, when they leaked, when Daniel RPK leaked the Avengers thing, I still haven't heard anything new about it. I don't know if it's still I don't know if this is still in development, but is probably be a few years away. But Project Comet is a lot closer. I think that one is going to be launching next year. Yeah, Wolverine is originally made as a Hulk reference. Maybe we get an Avengers reference. Yeah, this is definitely possible, since it takes place in the same universe. Definitely playing. I wish I got into the beta. I wanted to play the close alpha. I wanted to, even if it was on mobile, I wanted to try it out on the alpha. But it should be coming to PC as well, and eventually I think it'll be on console. I'm wondering if we might get a, since I think it's coming out in 2027, we might get a trailer for it at either Gamescom at the end of this month or the Game Awards. I think we'll definitely get to see it. I'm excited. Yeah, but from what we've seen so far, new Wolverine suits are for the Weapon X suit, the Deadpool and Wolverine suit, and there's another comic suit. Let me see. Let me check out Blitzwinger. A little bit of Blitzwinger's video. I know we went through a lot of the same stuff. Let me see if they actually let them. I'm gonna skip to the suit section. Shout out to Blitzwinger. I'm trying to sit through all 40 minutes. Let me see if you labeled it. You're not. Cowl on off. All right, here's the suit section. All right, let's check out what Blitzwinger.
We got other suits that were available to us to unlock during this play session. Now, unfortunately, again, similarly to a lot of other segments in this video, I don't have pictures of these suits, and we weren't allowed to capture them in any capacity, nor...
Yeah, I figured. When's gameplay? Why do you keep asking when's gameplay? We've been showing gameplay for like an hour. Why do you keep asking when's the gameplay? We've literally been showing Wolverine gameplay for like an hour. Is this like rage bait? Like, what are you doing?
Did we get any B-roll for them either? So just keep that in mind. However, yours truly does remember which costumes they were. So we did get access to the white tank top Wolverine. So kind of almost like the look that he wore in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. Okay. You know, where he's got the white tank top and then jeans. So that was one of the costumes that was available. Then we got the gold standard suit, which is of course that Jim Lee classic design. That one was one of the ones.
Classic Jim Lee. Yeah, I love that one. Throwing shots at game probably meant to say new game, which is dumb because like if you see the B-roll, like it's 90% like gameplay. It's literally like 90% gameplay. Like it's like the exact opposite of a movie game. It's like pure gameplay, just nothing but that. I think some of the people saying there was like almost too much. Like it was just nothing but violence. Like there wasn't a bunch of cutscenes and quick time events. It's like pure gameplay. Like people are just weird. People are just going to there. I understand there are people who are going to, after Spider-Man 2, there are people who are just determined to just lie and just be bad faith and hate on anything Insomniac does. So you can pretty much just ignore all those people, especially if they say anything, you know, referencing woke this or woke that or whatever like that. Because I already know what the narrative is going to be. Like, we see that Mystique in all the new footage looks amazing. Like, she's legitimately bad. So what they're going to do now is focus on the fact that she has a wife, and as the way that's going to be their next talking point. They're not going to be able to say she's ugly anymore. So they're just going to say, oh, they're pushing the agenda because she's married to a woman. Like, it's so predictable. Like anyone who focuses on culture or nonsense instead of the actual game is somebody you can just completely ignore. Like, only trust people's opinions on Wolverine who actually are interested in Wolverine as the game and not as a culture war talking point.
Ones that was certainly a personal highlight. One of the ones that surprised me personally to see on the roster was the Fang attire for Wolverine.
Fang suit?
Definitely a bit more of a deep
cut. That feels like an Insomniac thing to do.
Not as popular, I guess, of a version of Wolverine, but I was definitely really pleasantly surprised to see it appear. We also had access to the brown costume Wolverine, which of course we have seen. That's the costume that is the pre-order bonus costume, so
nice.
We did get access to that. I am
like the lunges.
Really excited to report that
also included the Winter Soldier suit
Wolverine from the brand new run.
We got the Winter Soldier suit. Okay,
so that was really freaking cool to see. I love that attire. That looked really neat indeed. We then also got to see
Don't remind them, Gabe.
X attire, which is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to go ahead and hopefully they'll share images of that suit at some point here soon enough, but it looks awesome. Like, he's got all the cables and everything, the helmet thingy, so it looks super duper cool. So Weapon X was definitely one of the standouts. They also had Days of Future Past Wolverine as an option to unlock as well.
Days of Future Past, really nice.
Cool variant of Logan. And then
now some people don't know what means 100%.
Hoping to see some
woke means thing I don't agree with.
Well, good news on that front as well, because they even had the Deadpool and Wolverine costume unlockable as well. And I think that
she's been with Destiny in the comics for years now, even before the
time when two friends
it's all LARP. It's nothing but LARP.
Which was really cool to see as well. Now, of course, me being me, I also did go through and count all of the other suits that were locked or like grayed out, the ones that we couldn't actually see what they are. But the grand total of suits that I saw during this play session was 27 total possible suits. Now, again, does that mean that the game will have 27 playable suits? No, it could have more than that. I would assume it would have at least 27 costumes. But to be fair, I mean, like, even if it does come along with just 27 costumes, I feel like that's a pretty good roster of suits, especially when you also then
that's a decent amount.
The fact that we know that the deluxe edition comes with 5 more. So I think that's pretty promising. So again, no confirmation. We weren't told like how many suits there will be in.
So 27 in the game
during the play session,
plus 5
suit selection screen
for the
deluxe. I was
deluxe.
able to count a total of 27 of them. Now, on top of that, another element that genuinely shocked me in terms of customization for this game.
Hey, you can customize the cowl.
The claws.
And the claws.
We all knew that the claws are going to be customizable. We'll learn that thanks to the deluxe edition coming along with new claws. But boy, oh boy, I did not expect to see so many different varieties of claws. Like, if I remember correctly, again, I'm pretty sure there were multiple different versions of the bone claws.
I'm definitely going to do the bone claw combo with the white tank top. I think that's going to be one of my go-to suit combos. But yeah, so shout to Blitzwinger, but I think it's what, like, so if it's 27 in the demo they played, so at 32 suits, including if we include the pre-order, if we include the exclusive deluxe edition suits, and then you have different sets of claws. Insomniac should put a pink variant suit in the Venom game. Oh, that would be amazing. Only concern about the game is that the combat may be a little repetitive. Skills adaptation should keep it fresh. Yeah, Yeah, I think it's going to be fine because yeah, not only did they actually add like a build system, and there's going to be more techniques as you unlock the game, but it's a more linear game. It's not like a padded open world game. So it's 20 pairs of claws, Dazzler, Sasquatch we already knew from the comic. Let me see. Let me try to find the skill. Try to find the skill tree. Here it is. Healing Strike. Against a staggered enemy, tap triangle to deal heavy damage and restore health. Also use the Ender Barrage. So you have like combo. You have like some combo strings you can do. So under techniques, what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If these are separate as well, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So at 30, that's 30 techniques right there. 30 different techniques right there on screen. Am I getting Halloween? Probably not, but I'm excited for Blood of the Dawnwalker. That's a lot of skins. So over 30 skins in the game so far. So there might be 32 costumes when you include the deluxe edition. And then there's 30 technique points, 30 skills techniques that we've seen so far. It seems like there's going to be a decent amount considering it's a more linear game. Yeah, all Insomniac games, their philosophy is they said that they don't want to do like super long games. They like to keep it within a certain length, within roughly the same length. So all their games tend to be like 13 to 20 hours. You know, people are never satisfied online. So, honestly, I shout out to Aaron and Insomniac. I don't know how the social media team with Insomniac is so patient, especially on Twitter. Like, they get the dumbest comments, bro. The dumbest, most toxic comments. It's crazy. Like, I was literally seeing a bunch of comments from people crashing out on Insomniac, accusing them of not supporting physical media because the bundle is for the digital version of the PS5. When literally, not only had Insomniac announced that Wolverine comes with a disc, but they literally, in the trailer that they commented under, and the blog they linked to, they literally explain the covers are for, you can buy covers for the physical version of the for the disc version of the PS5 and the digital version. Like, it's not just it's not just for the digital, it's for disc and digital. Like, people literally the literacy crisis is worse than it seems, because it's not just that people can't read and comprehend, it's that people are unwilling to read if it's more than 2 sentences long, even if it's information that they want to know. They are too lazy to just look at it, even if it's attached to a video. It's so crazy. Like, I just know, if I was a social media manager, I could not politely respond to all these comments, bro. There's just no way. I would absolutely have to start roasting people. Like, there's no way I'd be able to avoid this. So, shout out to Aaron, all the people over in Insomniac, runs the social department. You're the real heroes over there. Like, I admire your patience greatly. I literally got so annoyed with seeing these knuckle dragging imbeciles on my timeline. I had to set up a Blue Sky. I finally made a Blue Sky account. So Sadot the Gamer at Blue Sky, because I just need one social media platform where my feed has an average IQ higher than 20. Like I just needed at least one. Like I needed at least one. It was getting out of hand, bro. Plus I get to keep up with Jeff Grubb and Jason Schreier easily on there, because they usually post first on there now. It's so annoying, bro. I can't imagine how they deal with it. Vegetable E from This Was Smart, these guys legitimately, like, because it's not just the people who are, it's the people who are toxic, and like it's bad enough when people just ask stuff that they could literally have found out by just clicking the link and reading the blog, but it's people who are wrong and toxic about it. That's what irks me more. Like it's one thing to be wrong. Like anyone could be wrong. Anyone could get the wrong impression or have incorrect information. It happens. But when you're like toxic about it, and then when you're proven wrong, you just double and triple down, like that's so cringe. Imagine even indie dev. Literally, it's happening. Like indie devs are getting anything associated with PlayStation is getting spammed by people. These physical media LARPers. Like it's so ridiculous. Insomniac has literally nothing. Not only is Insomniac, first of all, releasing a physical version of Wolverine with a disc in the box, they have nothing to do with Sony's decision. They have no control over it. Telling them no disc, no buy is stupid. Like it doesn't make any sense. You can literally buy the disc version of Wolverine. They're harassing Insomniac is not going to make Sony start making discs again. That's not how it works. Leave these people alone. They have nothing to do with it. Like it doesn't help your cause. And I've seen the opposite. Like Sony used to get ratioed under every post, and I just saw under the announcement for the state of play with Phantom Blade Zero, it's not ratioed anymore because people are already tired of it. Like they're already bored. Once again, social media gets a hold of a trend and they run it into the ground because they have no focus. They don't really care about the issue. They're just doing it for engagement. And people can see how shallow the whole thing is, and they just get bored of it, and they just get tired of seeing it instead of trying to agree or help you with their cause. People just get irritated and just don't want to see it anymore. I thought I was all on board when I thought the physical media thing was going to lead to conversations and advocacy for improving consumer protections in the game industry, because the game industry needs more consumer protections. And I thought this was a perfect gateway conversation into that, maybe getting some politicians involved so that we can force these storefronts, especially if Sony's going all digital, to have better rights for the consumer. Like not allowing them to take away games, no matter if it's physical or digital. But no, everything just became about memeing and saying no disc, no buy, and this. Like, and now to the point where, and just not even focusing on where to send the messages. So now it just looks like a people just don't care anymore. Like social media has ruined like every social movement. Like everything inevitably gets ruined by social media, because you just can't help but getting a bunch of people just jump in LARPing, just trying to get engagement rather than trying to move the actual conversation forward or helping get anything done. Everyone just wants to retweet and share their memes and get their stuff off, and instead of being like helpful or productive. And the ones that do engage in conversation usually are as toxic as possible and are uninformed on the topic. He gives the gameplay. So the way the preview works is that Insomniac let everybody play the Wolverine demo at the studio. They would not let them capture footage. And when they left, they sent them screenshots like this one, and they gave them B-roll, raw B-roll captured by Insomniac devs of those sections that they were allowed to play, and then they gave it to them with the instruction, hey, you can use this B-roll in your coverage, but it has to be, you can only show a certain length, and you can't post raw gameplay for past a certain amount of time. You have to include commentary. So anyone would not be, for example, allowed to say, all right, here's 15 unedited video of the Wolverine gameplay we played. You can't do that. You have to have some kind of commentary attached to it. Later, when they get their own, hands-on copy of the game, they'll be able to post some more. They'll be able to post what they captured. But for the preview, they're limited to showing the B-roll and mixing it in with their actual impressions. You don't know if it's confirmed. Do you believe we get an X-Men by Insomniac? I think, without getting into leaks, I think that Insomniac definitely will have a lot more stories for the X-Men after the Wolverine game, assuming it's as successful as I think it will be, which I think it will be very successful for sure. What is my favorite X-Men villain? My favorite X-Men villain is definitely Magneto. That's my guy. Surprised Cruz was allowed to say as much as you did. Not really. It seemed pretty standard, honestly. I was surprised. The only thing that surprised me was that they weren't allowed to show the suits. Like, I thought they would allow them to capture some of the suits. I didn't think they would be that restrictive, but then it makes sense if they have another Wolverine showcase planned, which I think they do. I think they probably have like some kind of, maybe like another state of play in September coming before Wolverine launches, and they'll probably do a feature, and then they'll include some suits in there. Favorite is Apocalypse. Yeah, he's up there, Joe. I enjoy those arcs. I don't think Deadpool will be in the game. I think he'll probably get a reference. Do I think the Venom game will have other villains besides Carnage? Probably. Yeah, I watched the finale. I made sure I caught up on X-Men 97. Honestly, I like season 1 better, but I still thought it was pretty cool. It had some pretty good moments. I thought overall, I could kind of see how the Bo DeMaio influence went away as the season went on, and it just wasn't as good. First 4 episodes were like peak. Then it kind of went downhill a little bit after that, but still really good. Still really solid. I don't think Null will be in the Venom game. I think Carnage will be the primary villain, and then maybe we'll have some secondary antagonists. I think Venom, assuming this is the direction they're going, I think maybe Venom will be fighting the Flame as they'll be the main faction, and Carnage will be the main villain. Why do people think Rage is the only trait Logan has? Because it's the most popular one. Like, Logan's known primarily for crashing out. Like that's kind of his core part of his identity. He's a crash out. I don't think Hulk is in it. If it is, it's a nice surprise. They're keeping deep tucked in, you know, way away like the Venom, playable Venom level in Spider-Man 2. I don't think we're going to fight Hulk. The story seems to be more focused around the whole mutant thing. I think we maybe get Mr. Sinister at the end. Maybe some I think it's going to be more focused on X-Men. Wraith needs to be in the Venom game. Yeah, if it's a direct continuation of the Flame side quests, we might see Yuri in there. Are we getting the Old Man Logan outfit? Which one was the Old Man Logan outfit? I mean, him literally looking old. I'd be surprised if him literally looking old wasn't one of the outfits. That's pretty popular Wolverine look. You see the Venom game getting announced at TGA. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that at the Game Awards or a PlayStation event. If a surprise PlayStation event. Wolverine probably the most traumatized mess of character in all of Marvel. He's definitely up there. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to playing Eddie instead of Harry. From what I'm hearing of the rumors about what's going on in the Venom game, it sounds like it's Eddie, and it sounds like Carnage is going to be involved. But I don't think Insomniac announces. Realistically, I don't think Insomniac announces Venom until after Wolverine already comes out. I don't think they're going to want to take away from the attention. I think they're going to want to focus the marketing around Wolverine. So that's why I think the Game Awards would make sense as potentially a potential announcement, depending on when it launches. Like we don't know if it's still sticking to that 2027 window. It could very well fall to 2028. We don't know yet. From what we heard, it's on pace for 2027, which would make sense for like a December announcement. Who do you want voicing Carnage? Whoever was voicing Cletus in Spider-Man 2 did a great job, so I don't know if they can do a Carnage voice, but their Cletus voice actor was great. Robert Englund, that's who he was. Yeah, I thought their Cletus Cassidy did a great job. So, assuming the Venom game exists, it's supposed to be Wolverine, then Venom, then Spider-Man 3. Like how there's a kick. Yeah, the kick. I like the kick they added for Wolverine. That's how you can obviously use it to launch people, but it's a way you can break shields. Because there are some enemies with shields that'll block your claw attacks. So you use the kick to open them up. Can't wait until they call the symbiote woke, because he says we are saying Rob will be a good Carnage once they are bonded. They already do Blaze. Who plays Carnage and Tokon? Steve Bloom. Of course it's Steve Bloom. That does Venom. Who does Carnage, though? Kellen Goff? Oh, it's a woman that does. Oh, Kellen Goff. Voice actor. He's well known for his work in Five Nights at Freddy. He did My Hero Academia. Yeah, the Tokon Carnage is really good. I'm sure Steve Bloom could do a great Carnage as well, but yeah, Kellen does a great job of Carnage in Tokon Fighting Souls. With the actual Carnage voice. Who voiced him in Spider-Man 2? Chad Durag. All right, so Chad Durag did Carnage and did Cletus in Spider-Man 2. Pray for Venom and Tokon. Yeah, I think I think we're definitely getting Venom as DLC. Steve Bloom voicing. Jim Carrey's Carnage, no thank you. You kind of can't have a Marvel fighting game without Venom in it. You got to have Venom, and you got to have the blue. You got to have the blue Venom color fit to reference Marvel versus Capcom. Kind of have to have it. Like, you already have Goblin, you already have Spider-Man, and Carnage. You got to have Venom. Will the Venom game come out before Spider-Man 3? If the Venom game is a thing, it's definitely come out before Spider-Man 3. Leaks say it's going to be Thor, Cyclops, Silver Surfer, and Nova. There was also a Doctor Strange leak, so I would take it with a grain of salt, because Strange was supposed to be one of the leaks. IGN leaked that like super early on. That Doctor Strange is one of the lead characters. You're surprised they picked Carnage? Actually, it makes sense. Like, Venom is kind of overexposed, so I think it actually makes a lot of sense to lean into Carnage, because there's a lot of demand for Carnage, because he didn't end up making it into the Spider-Man 2, and then Venom was already in Marvel Rivals. This is supposed to be a Venom game, so actually it was a pretty brilliant choice to go with Carnage. I'm assuming they're using Tony Todd's unedited, unreleased voice recordings, because apparently he did like a ton of recordings for Venom that never made it into Spider-Man 2. So they probably have more than enough that they can use. And obviously they could just get Steve Bloom to do it. Kind of Insomniac games. I think what Insomniac is doing right now is fine. I've been wanting more X-Men games. More games based around the X-Men and the mutants, so Insomniac mixing that in with Spider-Man 3 with the Spider-Man stuff is perfect for me. Keep doing that, Insomniac. Bring us more X-Men. As much X-Men content as possible in the future. I think canceling the Venom game would be just a bad decision. If they were worried about if they were worried about Tony Todd, I think releasing it is the best thing they could do to honor him. If they have the means and ability to finish the game, yeah, that finishing it is absolutely the right choice, because the game is definitely going to sell. Like, like everybody is going to be buying a solo Venom game. Everybody's been asking for a solo Venom game for years now, so we know it's going to sell. Everything Insomniac does sells, but especially their Marvel stuff. But we know everybody's buying the Venom game. like no one's not, especially with Eddie Brock as Venom. Everybody's buying that game. Every superhero fan is buying that game. Especially with Carnage as the villain too. Yeah, that's an instant cop. Like how they teamed up Powers with 97. I think we found out what the mysterious costume in Marvel Rivals is going to be. Because on the roadmap, they said that they're going to have a X-Men 97 costume, but they didn't show what it was on the roadmap. I was wondering why, but now after seeing the finale, it makes sense. The reason why they didn't put it on the roadmap is because it would have been a spoiler. So I'm assuming the X-Men 97 costume we're getting, I think in a week or I think in 2 weeks or something for Marvel Rivals, is the Rogue costume that they had in the finale where she fought Apocalypse. Since they already have the Horseman of Death Gambit in game, it makes sense that they would add the X-Men 97 Rogue one. Thinking they announced Jedi 3 at Game Awards. I can see them announcing it at Gamescom too. I just hope we get the Iron Man announcement this year. That's what I'm waiting for. Like, it's been way too long. They announced the Iron Man game in 2022, and we still haven't gotten a trailer yet. Surely, this is the year we get a trailer for the Iron Man game. Surely, either at Gamescom or the Game Awards. Surely, we finally get the trailer for the Iron Man game. Gamescom seems small. Gamescom is actually the second biggest gaming event of the entire year. Gamescom is essentially the new E3. When we talk about what replaced E3, it's not Summer Game Fest, it's actually Gamescom. And like we had some huge reveals at Summer Game Fest, like Fate No Republic. And Gamescom is way bigger than Summer Game Fest. Like, people legitimately save stuff for Gamescom rather than showing it at Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest is like a preview, an introductory to the new E3 season. Gamescom is like the actual new E3. Like, it's a huge event. All these game studios come out and set up booths so you can play the games and interact with the people that make the games. And then they have the theater where they show off the trailers and everything like that. Like, that's the current iteration of E3. It's actually way bigger than people. It doesn't have like the casual name recognition of Summer Game Fest, but it's literally like right up. It's the Game Awards. It's basically the Game Awards and Gamescom, then Summer Game Fest. Which I cover, and I cover it every year. So there's going to be the Future Game Show as well. They already sent me invites to co-stream it. The Future Game Show is going to have supplementary game showcases happening before and after Gamescom. So it's going to be a lot. Marvel Rivals already confirmed they're going to be there in Germany. So if you happen to be in Germany for Gamescom, you can go over to the booth, say hi to the devs. Definitely going to be grabbing God of War Laufey. Every year's going forward seems like it's going to be a big year for gaming. Because because 2026 was already a huge year. 2025 was a huge year. 2024, 2023 were huge years. And a bunch of big games that were supposed to come out in 2026 got delayed to 2027 because they didn't want to compete with GTA 6. So it's going to 2027 is going to be just going to be insane too. Blood Message looks insane. All these games look insane. Then we have that Avatar, that Chinese Avatar game. What was that? The God Slayer. That game looks gas. You're basically a bender. but it's like this Chinese steampunk environment. Looks absolutely gas. Deadpool Insomniac game. I mean, after seeing what they did with Wolverine, I don't know if they could. The tricky thing about Deadpool games is like we know Insomniac from based on Wolverine could do the violence, the mature content. I feel like I want an edgier studio working on a Deadpool game. Like the violence is enough. I want someone a little edgier to tackle Deadpool. When do you think we'll see 1943 again? No idea. Size of Annihilation looks sick. Even if it did lose the English. Yeah, the game looks, sad that we lost her, but game still looks amazing. Since you probably won't get Deadpool in a Wolverine game, PC. I don't think Deadpool is going to be DLC. I think the only DLC we'll probably get for Wolverine is new suits and maybe a playable mission where you get to be Jean Grey. Other than that, I'm not expecting much from Wolverine in terms of new content. Cool round remake going to be a 10 out of 10. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Definitely not forgetting Undefeated Genesis. They actually emailed me. So someone doing their marketing emailed me, offering me a chance to play the game early. They're having a new test on PC. Of course, my PC can't run it. I'm thinking of buying a proper gaming PC, but I asked them to send me some B-roll. It looks good. I was looking at some of the new footage that they released that people were playing. It looks really good. The game's coming together. I'm looking forward to playing it. As far as you know, Blade. I've already talked about both games a lot, but once again, Blade is currently waiting to get the results of the labor thing, because Xbox didn't close them down, but essentially told them you're independent. So they're, according to French law, they're still going through the process of them separating from Xbox, and they're going to need because they need essentially to find a funding source, because the game was supposed to come out next year, but until they get a funding source, now that Xbox is gone, they need to find a way to get some money so they can finish the game. And as I covered a bunch during this stream and in my previous video, Paramount already gave us an update on 1943. They said that the game is coming along. It has a smaller studio compared to other AAA games. It's not a AAA game with like a big studio. That's part of the reason it's taking so long. But they are invested in the game. They promoted Amy Hennig, who was, of course, writing and leading the studio. They gave her a promotion. They created a new Paramount game studio where they merged a bunch together. And they said they have their full support. They like what they have a playable build of Rise of Hydra. They said they've looked at it, they played it, they like how it's coming along, and they want to give Amy Hennig as much time as possible to get it right. And they said that obviously it's not coming out in 2026, but they said maybe 2027, maybe at the earliest. So that means it could fall into 2028. But the point is that they are confident in the game. They have a build of the game that is playable, and they want to show off, and they want to let them take their time, and they're going to show it when they think it's ready. So if it does come out in 2027, it sounds like it'll be like towards the end of the year, around that holiday season, which means we could get a gameplay trailer during either Gamescom or or the Game Awards if they're committed to 2027. But if they're not committed to 2027, we could see it slip to 2028, and they could do gameplay sometime in 2027. But they are definitely taking their time. I would definitely lean more towards Game Awards rather than Gamescom after they just announced the delay, but they did say that they are taking their time and not rushing it. You can tell one game you won't be asking you for. Mid TA 6. I just know Travis is going to buy GTA 6. I just know it in my soul. PJ's face is better for the character. Wait for Halloween. Yeah, there's so many games. I'm trying to. I want to make sure that I finish some of my game backlog, because I just know there's going to be so much happening in September between Wolverine, Blood of Dawnwalker, Control Resonant, then Phantom Blade Zero, and then GTA 6. Like I need to get through my gaming backlog, because it's going to be a lot. Appreciate you, Travis. Hope for Halloween lasts longer than Friday the 13th or Chainsaw. Travis is going to buy GTA 6 for you. I already know. You should make a bet to get him. Imagine the surprises. I know all the surprises so far. They're not as many as you think, but they are pretty good. Halloween the game looks amazing. It looks solid. I might check it out. He owes you a game already? Oh, does he? Oh yeah. Oh, that would be perfect then. Make him buy you GTA 6. Make him buy you the Ultimate Edition. Make him buy you the Ultimate Edition, so you can get access to the side missions. I mean, if you owe a game, you owe a game. That's how it works. If you owe someone something, you don't get to dictate the terms after the fact. you have to get it. You have to support Rockstar. You got to do it. Boycott it. You're boycotting it. The only thing Michael Myers in the new game looks too little. I think it's just the style of the game. You know about more unannounced Marvel games? Announced Marvel games. There's like, what was it, like 3? Was it like 3, 4? There's like, what was it like? There's at least one at EA. There's Project Comet. And then there's 2 more after that. A deluxe or ultimate of Hydra or Iron Man. No, make him. It has to be GTA 6. You have to buy GTA 6. But you think Rockstar is worse than EA? That's crazy. There's no way that's true. Absolutely no way that's correct. I mean, they're working on it. But there's no way that's correct right now. EA isn't union busting? 100% they are. What do you mean? You think EA cares about unions? What? And they just went private What's Saudi money? What do you mean? They're nowhere near worse than Rockstar. They literally killed the Black Panther game after approving it because they wanted to save a little bit more money to make their balance sheet look good, so that Saudi Arabia would give them a better price when they bought them. what are we talking about? There are levels to this. I mean, the Black Panther game was still in pre-production, but they had done stuff. Like they literally passed the milestones. They had stuff to present them, and when Cliffhanger presented what they've done with the Black Panther game, they got approved. They got approved for more funding, and then the CEO swooped in and said, "You know what? Now we're canceling it and shutting you down." They didn't have just concept art. That's the thing. Like, I think it just sounds like you didn't. It sounds like you just didn't dig that much into the story. They didn't just have concept art. That's what I'm saying. They literally approved. They were hitting their milestones. They got approval, and then they got shut down. And they're about to get way worse. Like, we're about to get mass layoffs at EA because they just went private. Because the way they went private was they accumulated, like, I think it was like 18 to 20 billion in debt. So they're going to be ruthless. I mean, we're talking about mass layoffs, much more microtransactions. Like, it's going to get wicked after this. They're probably selling. BioWare is getting sold. I think they're definitely selling. I already heard the rumblings that they're considering selling BioWare and some other studios, in addition to layoffs. Like, it's about to be a bloodbath. Like, Xbox was in the headlines for a while. Sony was in the headlines. Like, it's about EA is about to take over once those changes hit. BioWare is getting sold off or shut down, and a bunch of people are getting laid off. Question is, who picks up BioWare? That is an interesting question. Now, who's more risk averse here? Xbox after this got rid of 5 studios, or Sony after the Bungie thing blew up in their face? Who's more willing to take a chance on BioWare? Sony or Microsoft? Sony or Xbox? Who's more willing to snatch up BioWare? Potentially for a deal. I feel like PlayStation would more likely take a chance on BioWare. Or Amazon as a dark horse. Good chance it ends up being Tencent, though. I can definitely see Tencent snatching them up. Ubisoft showed interest. Yeah, but Ubisoft's still not in position to be making acquisitions. They also, that's why I said Tencent, because Ubisoft was already in their own financial, dire straits, and then Tencent came in and bailed them out. That's why I threw Tencent in there, because Tencent is one of the few massive companies that still are looking to buy. So I could definitely see them just snatching up BioWare if they could get a, especially if they could get a deal on it. So I think the Duars are canceled. They can't. EA already has contract signed, games in development. We're getting Jedi 3. They're already about to release the Star Wars strategy game. They'll be announcing Jedi 3 soon because that's coming out soon. And then they have the Iron Man game. Anything after that is up in the air. But before they got bought and went private, they mentioned that they were trying to go away from licensed games anyway. Paramount's looking to expand. True. So I will say Paramount normally, but they are in like, I don't think Paramount is in a position right now to make a big acquisition because they're still trying to buy Warner Bros. That deal's been held up. They're trying to commit they have $100 billion committed to Warner Bros. And it's being held up in court. So I don't think they're in a hurry to buy another studio, especially since they just combined Skydance to form a new studio so they can work on the Ninja Turtle game and Avatar games. What about 3 Marvel games? There's just Iron Man. Right now it's just Iron Man they're focused on. That the three Marvel games hasn't been a thing for a while. They already said that the three Marvel games was Iron Man, Black Panther, and the unannounced third, and we already covered that. Black Panther's canceled. The unannounced third they never really made that much progress on it. They're focused right now on Iron Man. I think they want to see how well Iron Man does first before they start exploring any other games. Copa Zero Company is good. I hear it's good. I saw Skill Up did a video. I gotta check out his impressions. But yeah, he said it's good. I'll probably check it out. I might check it out because I did enjoy Midnight Suns. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Platinum, day one for sure. You're a XCOM fan? Yeah. I'm more open to it after playing Midnight Suns. And it does look pretty good, so I might check it out. See if I can get a code for it. That everyone accepts. I don't know if everyone accepts it. I think it's very much. I mean, it makes sense. US has the most interest because, I mean, let's be honest, that's what matters the most here. These are American companies, American IPs, and it's going to have the biggest impact on American entertainment. Like Warner Bros. Is a massive company, American company. They're in control of tons of very valuable American IPs. So whoever acquires Warner Brothers is like a huge deal. And they're obviously worried about monopolies and stuff like that. They're worried about the impact on movie theaters. So there's a lot of consideration here. What do you think about the PlayStation Blackout? I think it's completely useless. It's not going to do anything. Especially if you are signed up to PlayStation Plus. If you just don't log in for a week, that literally does nothing. If you all canceled your subscriptions, that would do something. If it was enough people that did it. But just saying, oh, everyone just don't log in for a week, that's stupid. That does nothing. They don't care. That doesn't lose them money. canceling your PS Plus, that loses the money. Selling your PS5 and only buying through Steam, that loses the money. Switching to Xbox, that loses the money. Taking a week off from playing your PlayStation and going right back to supporting the PlayStation ecosystem, that does nothing. If you want to actually get PlayStation to do something, you need to be talking to your local politician. You need to find out who your congressman is, find out who your state senator is, and tell them that you want better consumer protections in the gaming industry, and cite PlayStation as an example. But all this performative social media garbage does nothing. It literally just is for clout and ego and likes. It has no actual impact on how Sony does business. It's all performative. Ubisoft says Beyond Good and Evil 2 might be at Gamescom. Did they say that? Doesn't sound like something Ubisoft would say. They either say it's going to be there, or they'll tease that it's going to be there. Hasn't that game been in development for like 20 years? The Epic thing seems a little, yeah. Disney and Epic, I don't know about that. Disney's definitely flirting with Epic, but it doesn't seem like we're any close to them attempting to buy them. We'll see how their partnership works, because so far they put $1 billion in, and they haven't really gotten anything out of it. I don't think the metaverse thing went anywhere, and right now they have 3 games in development. The first one is that Disney extraction shooter that I talked about in my video a while ago. That's supposed to be coming out this November. Sounds completely ridiculous. We'll see. We'll see if none of the games Epic does for Disney end up doing anything, then I don't think they're gonna try to buy them. Yeah, the disc thing is a distraction. It's inevitable for people to move away from discs. That's just technology. The music industry already went through this. The important thing is the rights, not the disc. Consumer rights are important. We need better refund policies. We need guarantees that we'll be able to keep the media that we purchase. That's the important thing. And the digital age is inevitable. Like, that's obviously the direction everything's going, because it's just more convenient. Like, it's just natural. Like, this is like the equivalent of people boycotting Walmart because they said that they're not going to sell CD players anymore, because everybody wants iPods and MP3 players. Like, yeah, that's progress. That's how it works. Like, the important thing is the rights of the consumer, not the specific product. Eventually, the technology that you got accustomed to gets replaced by something newer. That's just how it works. Here, Halo Remake is doing terrible numbers. Yeah, I didn't play it. I saw Jay Shockblast playing it. I think I could have got a code for it, but they didn't send it to me. Went through the usual email. I think I could have got one through Keymailer, but I was just never interested in Halo. And then I saw Skillup's review. You didn't seem to like it very much. Yeah, I was just never a Halo fan. I just never got into it. Boycott Game has no attachment to a Raya because she gave her opinion on something. Yeah, Yes, a lot of these boycotts just get weird. You didn't miss anything? I figured. I mean, I watched Skillup's review, so I kind of got the gist of it. And I watched Jay Shock last streaming it a little bit, so yeah, I kind of got what I needed out of it. Like, nothing really moved me to run in and start going on a Halo journey. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm good on that. Your franchise should be rebooted. X-Men Destiny. The Matrix. Lost Planet would make it play a Space Marine 2. I never played Lost Planet. I am looking forward to Echo the Dolphin coming back. I loved that game when I was a kid. Echo the Dolphin was goated. Only PlayStation games, Resident Evil, Lego games, superhero games. Well, speaking of, I was hoping that Sucker Punch would get started on Infamous, but seems like they're still not done with Ghost of Yotei because they just announced that they're doing another expansion. This time, dropping in October. They're doing a store expansion. They're adding a new single player game mode, and they're going to have they're going to be selling the complete edition. So I'll upgrade for $14. I'll check out the new story expansion. Unless Sony wants to send me the expansion upgrade, I'll definitely play it. Yeah, Yotei was really good. I was disappointed compared to Tsushima. I think Tsushima's better. I wasn't a fan. My biggest problem with Yotei was the combat, and I didn't quite like how they did the story. Like, I liked how in Tsushima, like, the story was building towards something. There was like it felt like your choices actually mattered and affected the game and the not only just the environment but the actual plot. Whereas it felt like in Yotei you just had the illusion of choice, and none of your decisions actually mattered. You had no agency, and I didn't like the ending. But overall, I thought it was really good. The expansion is a mix between the present day and the prequel before she started hunting USA 6 during the war. It's a mix between the two. And then there's a single player bounty mode that's like a roguelike where you can play as different characters. It sounds alright. I'll check it out, but I was hoping that among the quality of life changes, they polish up the combat a little more. Yeah, watch the Expanse. So yeah. It's on my list. I'll get to it eventually, maybe. I got a lot to get through. I got a lot of anime to get through. I got a lot of games to get through. So eventually. People that bought the GTA 6 Standard Edition can upgrade. Literally, there's no point in buying the Standard Edition. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Why are you pre-ordering it, first of all, when they haven't shown any gameplay? And it's a digital-only game. And why would you buy the Standard if you're just going to upgrade later? Like, I agree with Jay. They should have just said the game is $100 and called it a day. Like, why is there a Standard Edition at all? There's no reason to buy the Standard Edition. There's no value in it. There's nothing. You just get the base game. There's no perks. There's no benefits. It's dumb. Just buy it. If you're buying it, just buy the $100 version. It doesn't make any sense. Just buy the $100 version. Preferably after they show gameplay. Have I ever pirated a game on PC? I have not. I have never pirated a video game. I buy all my video games. Unless a game developer sends them to me. Onimusha is going to be another Game of the Year contender. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to check it out. I already requested my copy of Onimusha from Capcom. Shout out to them. You hear someone say the next Lego game is Superman. I wouldn't trust anyone other than J Shock Blast about what the next Lego game is going to be. And it does, and I don't know if he said anything about it being Superman. Ever played Silent Hill? I played it when I was younger. I haven't played any of the new ones. Interview with one of the devs asked what comes to the Ultimate Edition, the game. He responded, the game. Yeah, it's literally just the actual game. It comes with the actual game. The standard edition of GTA 6 comes with the game minus the cut content. The Ultimate Edition comes with the actual game. The Ultimate Edition comes with the game plus all the content they cut out of the base game to make you upgrade to the deluxe, the Ultimate Edition. They should have just made it one version, just $100. Like it's so dumb that they that they cut content from the game, from the base game, and paywalled it behind $20. like oh yeah, you can't go to these stores or access these side missions unless you buy the 100. Just make the game $100. Like, what are you doing? Fable team called Rockstar greedy jackasses. Now you're buying Ultimate for their game. Valid. And Fable's gonna be amazing. Fable looks great. I can't wait to play that one early 2027. It's going to be lit. Like the skills of Wolverine saying. The next Lego game is DC. I wonder it will be for the movies or shows. I'll ask Jay actually. It's been a while since I talked to him about what the next Lego game was going to be. But I remember he said it's definitely not Marvel. But I'll remember what he said about DC. So I'll ask him. But I'm gonna get out of here. Tomorrow I'll be live again. I might work on a Wolverine video, but tomorrow I'm going to be streaming D23 tomorrow night. D23 is back again. They're going to have new reveals for Marvel. I think there's going to be something for Kingdom Hearts 4 as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're cooking up for there. It's going to be late. I think it's going to be like at nighttime, so I'll be live there for there. Would it make sense to get the standard? It makes no sense to get the standard edition for GTA 6. Do you just want the box? Like, what are you doing? Like, that's crazy. It's just a box. All right, I'll catch y'all tomorrow for the D23 live stream. Should be fun. Hopefully we get some big X-Men announcements. I'm Dr. Gamer signing out.